Here we have a Mercedes-Benz key fob, and customer said no infrared function. I do not know what that means, no infrared function, and I do see the infrared transmitter included in the back here. Now, I already removed the motherboard of the key fob, of the shell, right here, and we're gonna inspect the motherboard under the microscope. And actually, I do see this infrared component here, and it looks good. So I do not know why the customer sent us an infrared component, and we do have one on the board here, and this one looks in excellent condition. Let's inspect the rest of the board. I do not see that component came off from anywhere else on the board. I mean, the board looks very clean, excellent condition. The customer did include a note. Starts, does not lock and unlock. So the key fob does start the vehicle, but it does not lock or unlock the car. The small piece is from this key. It's not from this key. That small piece is not from this key. I do not see where that piece may have fell out from. We do have it right here. Let's take a look at the piece that the customer included inside the bag here. Right there. And we do have that component right over here, right there. And there's nothing that goes on the back, because some key fobs, they have one on the back and one on the front. But this one, there's one right here. That piece did not come off this fob, no way. Okay, so why is this fob not locking or unlocking? That's the question. Let's go ahead and test. We have a fob tester here. And if we press on any one of the buttons, the fob tester should output 314, 315 to indicate that the button is functioning properly. Right now, if we press on the button like I'm doing now, the fob tester is showing 0. It should show 314, 315. And also, when I press on any one of the buttons, we're not seeing that LED blink. It should blink red. Nothing. What if we test the infrared transmitter? It's working. The infrared transmitter is working. We get IR, which indicates that the transmitter is working. So whatever component the customer included does not belong to this fob, because the infrared transmitter is working. We are getting IR when we press on the button. Okay? But we're not getting the frequency. We're not getting a 314, 315 display. Why are the buttons not working? No obvious signs of corrosion or damage. Or, oh, right there, right there. We do see possibly, oh, look at this. The pad is 50% gone. Okay, so we have a broken trace. That could be our problem. And look at this. I think we lost whatever was left of that pad. Now we need to know where this pad leads to. I mean, right now it's going to be hard to know where this via is going to, where this pad is going to. It connects to somewhere on back of the board, but we do not know where it connects to. What's on back of the board? Okay, so that pad that we had is probably this one here. I can see by the shadow of that pad on the back, but let's see. What I'm going to do is put a mark here. Like this. So we can see that mark from the back. And I see nothing. It could be this, could be this, could be this. Okay, so right now what we need to do is we need to look at a donor board. And I have a lot of donor boards here. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of donor boards. It's not the same, this one is not the same. Mini Max tuner we do not need. And this one is exactly the same. Awesome, awesome. I did take a lot of components from this one, but that doesn't matter because we want to know where that pad connects to. Let's take a look at the fob. It looks like I removed the coil from here. Let's look at this one. So we have the coil and then we have the pad right here. So we have 1, 2, 3 and the pad is in the middle. Let's look at the donor one. 1, 2, 3 and the pad is in the middle. So that's where we need to look. We're gonna have to solder wire because I cannot put a probe on this side, flip the board and test the back. It's not gonna work out like that. So we need to solder a wire. Okay. And now we're gonna probe this wire from the back. So now that we have the wire, we're going to use our meter in continuity mode. One probe here, and the second probe, we will go over some components on the board or pads. There's a button that goes here, but it's off because this is a donor board. So nothing. And oh, right there. Right there. So the broken pad, it connects to this component on back of the board, right here. We have a button here, and right under the button there's this resistor. And just a minute. All right, so I was interrupted, and I cannot seem to work on one device without being interrupted like 6 million times. So we are back at this and a new discovery. Before I started to record the video, I was looking at the donor board. So we do not waste a lot of time on this device. I was looking at the donor board, and what I found out is we do not really need to connect that trace with the missing pad. And I'll show you why. Looking at the donor board, we were trying to figure out where this pad leads to, but we do not really need to connect this with this because they are already connected on back of the board. I did not realize this until now. What I did is I punctured the hole on that trace. I punctured the hole. I just wanted to see where this connects on the board, and that hole led me to right here. This point is already connecting with this point. They are already connecting, so we do not need to fix that trace on front of the board. So what I discovered is this is not connecting this with this, so we have a broken trace in the middle. I scratched up the line on the customer's board, and let me show you what I did here. I scratched up the line on the customer's board, and look at this. The center is broken. So I'm almost 99% positive if we solder a wire from here to here, we're gonna restore this trace and the fob is gonna work. I have not tried that yet, but we're gonna do so right now. And now all we have to do is run a wire The board is not being held by a board holder, but I'm almost done. And we're gonna cut this wire. Okay, so we should be good. And like I said, we do not need to connect this with this, because on back of the board, the trace and the pad, they're already connecting. And that discovery was made because I punctured a hole on the donor board that we have in stock here. Otherwise it would have been hard to find that information. So now that we have this trace fixed, let's go ahead and test. Right now what I want to see is the light, which I do not see. Oh, right there. It's lighting up. And finally this one here. All three buttons are working. We're going to use our fob tester to make sure that we get the 314, 315 frequency. Before we got a 0. This is interference right now. Let me put a hard drive on the back. And let's see. Look at this. 314.9. And button number 2, 314.9. And button number 3. Let me make sure the battery is properly aligned. 314.9. Awesome. So we were able to fix this fob for the customer. If it wasn't for this donor board, it would have been very difficult to figure out what was wrong with this board. But luckily we had one, and that was the only donor board that we had, and we use a lot of parts from it. It's a special type of fob, unlike other Benz fobs that we have. They come in many different models. We have one more fob to fix actually. So this is done, and we have one more here. I'll probably do a separate video. I do not want to combine it. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and we'll do something else in the next video.